Last time on Denny's Desk, we talked about your family history and what invoked your interest in public policy. In 1984, you were elected to the state legislature. Can you talk about your experience in the state and in government and how that informed your current job?
Well, it was really exciting for me. When I was 28, I ran for the state legislature and was elected. So I went up in 1985, and at that time, the legislature was once again split 50-50, 50 Republicans and 50 Democrats. So we shared chairmanship, much like this session. I was asked as a freshman to be on the Appropriations Committee because of my financial background in kind of a nerdish accountant, perhaps. I like numbers. I like to try and balance budgets. I like to set priorities. I like to hear from the interests, and gave me an opportunity for the first time to be intimately involved in Health and Human Services. That was the Appropriations Committee that I was put on. Great committee. Dorothy Bradley from Bozeman was on the committee, Cal Winslow from Billings, Pete Story from Emigrant, Harold Paulson from Great Falls. It was really fun. Chris Christians. And so we just immersed ourselves. And I really admire the state legislature, and I spoke to them this last week. And the reason I admire them is because they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. They know their budget inside and out. And I have been trying to talk to leadership, Republican and Democrat, to get them to do the same in Washington, D.C. We should know these budgets inside and out. And it's not an excuse that it's billions and trillions. It is not an excuse, especially when you find out about $500 toilet seats or $200 hammers in any department, whether it's Department of Defense or any other. Just because we don't have a balanced budget requirement, which we should, I think we should be looking at these budgets every bit as thoroughly as they do back in the Montana legislature. So I got an opportunity to do that. I guess I did a good enough job that when we got the majority in 1987 legislature, I was asked to be one of the subcommittee chairmen, and I got general government and highways as my arena. And I just entered it the same way of looking at every possible budget we could at every possible level to try and downsize, right-size, prioritize, and I hope we did a good job. The third session that I served in, we lost the majority, so we were in the minority. So I served in every combination you could think of, tie, majority, and minority, and was kicked off appropriations. The ruling party has an opportunity to do that, and they put me on taxation committee, which helped me better understand then the tax structure of Montana, as well as I was on the local government committee and gave me a chance to work with the mayors, city council, county commissioners and such, and the laws at the state level that pertain to them. So it gave me a good footing for then going to work as lieutenant governor in 1991 when I was appointed by Governor Stan Stevens to fill the vacancy. So all the while, when you're in the legislature, you're not a professional politician. You can't be, because it's a 90-day session every other year. And you have to have a real job outside of government. And I continued to ranch. I ran the family place. 1988 was probably one of the toughest times for me, because we had a drought going, and I literally had to haul 8,000 gallons of water a day. I had a 2-ton truck with a 1,000-gallon tank, and it was one of the hardest, most miserable summers of my life, in that I hauled water for 8 hours, and then the work started. And it's just, it gives you a lot of appreciation for what people in agriculture have gone through year after year in various parts of the state. It gave me a real appreciation for the toughness of what it's like to try and make a living in agriculture. That was always one that I'll remember in 1988. But I did serve three terms in the legislature and finished it in 1989.